You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Well, good evening, everyone. Mog and I are glad to be back.
Yes.
Now, our special guest tonight, David Dowd, unfortunately had to cancel out, but we're working with him to reschedule to eventually get him back here on the Experience so that way he can tell us all about his projects. Now, in the interim, I was able to get some of our pitch hitters to come in just so that way Dave Law doesn't feel alone. So joining us tonight with Dave, we have Sean Lenahan, Fish Lee, and Trish Forstner. And I know you guys are familiar with them, so we'll see what's going up with them. So grab your coffee or a beverage of your choice, maybe a dessert. Settle in for the evening. It's Sketch Up with Mog and Mel. We'll be right back after this short intro. Hello. Welcome back, everyone. I'm still trying to recover. We had a fantastic show this past weekend at Fan Expo Denver. If you were there, let's hear that. Let's hear that in the comments. Hey, Phil, nice to see you there. Yeah, I love that theme song too. Hey, Stevie, good to see you in here as well. Thank you.
Cheers.
Yeah, so we've been lucky that we've had like 2 successful shows now. We had Heroes Con and Fan Expo Denver. So, and it's going to be a while before we get to another con. That's not going to happen until August, which actually isn't that far away. That's going to be August 8 and 9, I believe. And then the weekend after that, Mog will be going to Fan Expo Chicago. Hey, Derek, good to see you there.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and get,
JD said Phil is actually being sarcastic. He does not love this thing. Do you get it? Sarcasm to the.
Why not? Why don't you like the song, Philip? Huh? What's wrong with that? I actually like that song. It's kind of peppy. Yeah. But so, Mog.
Yes, sir.
What are you going to be drawing tonight?
I'm going to draw Batgirl, Cassandra Cain.
Really?
Yeah, that because there's so many Batgirls. I want to draw that one, Cassandra Cain.
That's not Barbara Gordon. You know, you've never really done Barbara Gordon Batgirl, and you keep drawing Cassandra Cain.
Oh, really? Then I'll do Barbara Gordon. Okay.
So
Batgirls.
And what size are you drawing that on?
This is actually exact same size of a comic backing board, so I think it's approximately.
It's a 7 by 10.
Yeah,
all right. So and then your starting bid you said was going to be 50, right?
Yes, 50.
I know. I love the drama too. When it's all fun.
I hate drama.
Anyway, so joining us tonight, we also have Trish Forstner. She's here with us. Thank you for joining us, Trish. Hey. And she just got home less than 30 minutes ago from watching the 30th anniversary of Lion King.
Yes.
Right, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. And to celebrate that, she is drawing Scar on a blank cover.
I love Scar.
She happens to have a Scar blank sketch cover. And the starting bid on that is also $50. And no, she did not dye her hair. She just washed it.
Yeah, it just faded out.
No.
It's going to be dyed tomorrow.
Ooh.
You know, Trisha's a clean lady. She washes her hair every day.
I wash every day. That's why it's so faded.
I mean, actually, you look great either way.
Yeah, it looks good.
I wish.
And you also have, or did it just come out this weekend? Feral number 5, is it?
Feral number 5 is out on preview night of SDCC.
Very good. And that's the final issue, correct?
That is the final issue of the first arc.
First arc, yeah.
Yeah, then the trade paperback will be out in early September or late August, early September. And then issue 6 will be out in like the 25th of September.
Okay.
We're
There you
up on
guys go.
issue 7 now. So
Whew, going along.
oh,
Still don't know how Tony is doing that with all the books that he's working on. But good for you guys.
Oh, for sure. She
The
draws so
Feral
fast.
is a success. So if
Yeah.
you guys haven't jumped on that yet, you better head to your local comic book shop and pick that up. Okay, and find out what all the fuss is about on Feral
Especially
Cat.
Feral.
well, and issue 6 is like it's going to be like a groundbreaking issue for us because it's like a mostly silent issue. And
Mhm.
silent issues to me are so interesting because a lot of it depends on the acting and the
Yeah.
point of view that you're trying to get across.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for people to get this thing in their hands. Issue 5 is wonderful. Good conclusion. Our heroes, they all, go their separate ways. Issue
Mhm.
6 will bring them back together,
I see.
or it'll bring you status on them. Maybe they're not back
Yeah.
together.
It is a challenge when you do a silent comic like that because
Yeah.
you are relying just on the pictures. When you
Yeah.
put words in it, the words kind of help to cover the parts that you don't have in the actual picture itself, so it helps to complete it.
Yeah, I mean, have
But
you ever
the
seen
other
those
words, it's tougher.
have you ever seen those TikTok videos where like people will put like a GoPro around their cat's neck and then the cat like runs around
Yeah.
out in the
Yeah.
world, like chasing squirrels and chattering with other
Yeah.
cats? That's kind of the angle we're going for
Interesting.
our silent issue. So you'll see the point of view from this cat as he's going through like the whole thing. And my pitch on it is, have you ever wanted to know what it's like to slip silently into madness? This is what it's like.
No. I
Wow,
don't want to know.
that sounds interesting.
So it's a very tense issue.
Mhm.
But the whole thing it's going to be really good, I think, once we get the colors back and I can really soak it in. But issue 5, when it comes out, it's going to give you a nice wrap on the whole arc. You're going to see some things, you're going to feel some things.
Mhm.
And
Nice.
people send us pictures of their cats too, so look in the back of the issue for that too.
Okay, we'll get back to more of that, but right
Yeah.
now let's go to our next artist on tap here. So let's give a warm welcome to Mr. Fish Lee, another favorite of the show.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Glad to be back.
Good to have you. And what are you going to be drawing today, Fish?
I am drawing one of my favorite characters of all time, Taskmaster. I just freaking love that character. The whole idea of photographic reflexes just blew my mind as a kid, and I've never been able to let go of it. The biggest thing I geeked out on at C2E2, other than meeting Mog and Mel in person, was seeing an actual like metal Taskmaster shield for sale up there. I lost my composure.
Now, what is Taskmaster's first appearance? That was in Avengers.
Don't get me to lying. I wish I had that kind of memory.
I think it's 198.
Like I remember the stories like I was there. Like I remember the dust in the air when Doc Ock comes busting out of the hospital for the first time.
Yes.
I couldn't tell you what issue it was. Like that just doesn't. That's not the way my brain works. I wish it did.
All right. JD is telling us it's 196. I was close. I know it was. I know it's somewhere there, and I have several copies of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
Wow.
I'll post.
So you got
it
the
later
hookup,
on.
right?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I had a birthday not too long ago.
Maybe we can work something out. We'll see. I don't know. but I am partial
trade
to the
art for
Taskmaster
comics.
myself, But, okay, and so you are drawing Taskmaster on your blank sketch cover there.
Yeah.
And the starting bid on that is going to be
$50.
50. Okay, we're going off
Magic number tonight.
Okay.
Yes. Number 5.
All right, another show favorite that we have joining us tonight on a last minute notice is Mr. Sean Lenahan.
Hey,
Hey, Sean.
What's up?
Dude, looks like you've got a lot started there on the board. What are you working on?
This is a personal piece because you called me at the last second and I was like, what do I got? So I just found a personal piece, and I was like, I'm just gonna do this because
So it's a like
that's what
it's
I
an
got.
OC character.
Yeah, it's I've been doing like a lot of like female type of just artsy pieces, and yeah, that's
Mhm.
pretty much what I'm gonna be doing. So
Okay,
yeah,
no worries.
Are you inking it?
that's pretty much what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm inking it. Usually when I do these, they're like idea pieces, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this will be a good idea, or maybe a bigger piece out of this, and then I sort of just put it to the side as I'm working on a bunch of other things. Like I drew this underdrawing like maybe 6 months ago, So it's like, oh yeah, I guess I can go back to that now and do that for Mog and Mel. Because usually when it comes to you guys, I want to do something like commercial,
Yeah.
more whatnot. But I'm like, you call me at the last second, so I'm
Yeah.
trying
I
to do
apologize.
something.
Thank you.
No worries.
So,
Yeah.
And now, and what did you want that to start out at?
we're gonna go for 80. I don't
80
know
bucks
why.
on that. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
and
a
I
good
want to
one.
thank special thanks to Trish, Sean,
Yes.
and Fish for coming on tonight because they were just notified
So much.
just today to see if they could like come on since our guest had canceled out with another artist. So I said, no, you know what? Just want to have some fun tonight after having such a busy weekend. And yeah, we'll see like where this goes. But we have one of our original scheduled guests to be on the show. Mr. Dave Law is still here. Hey, Dave.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. And you're looking nice and clean there. You got a haircut and everything.
I did. I shed my winter coat. So
Yeah, it's a new look, something that we haven't seen before. And I got to say, you're looking pretty chipper there.
oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right, and you're going to be working on a Scarlet Witch and Polaris piece, correct?
Yeah. So like,
Okay.
I always go on this one subreddit for X-Men, and I oftentimes let the community vote on a piece to draw. Like every once in a while, I like to test my X-Men chops because it's the comic book that kind of got me into comics. So it's a fun thing to do, and people really get into it. It's good for marketing too. Like people learn about me that way. And so this time around, they voted that I draw. They kind of cheated. They put 2 people, but people voted for it. So it's Scarlet Witch and Polaris, and I believe it's because they're like half sisters. Although like I feel like that's
or at least
changed
they
a
were.
bunch.
Who
Yeah,
knows now?
they used to be.
that thing kind of keeps on changing. So I don't know. It just kind of depends. I'm confused exactly what it is now. But hey, you know what? Those are 2 popular X-Men characters, so I'm pretty sure those will do pretty well. Hello, Lyle. Thanks for coming on tonight. Same thing with you, Kenneth Berg. Nice to see you on here as well. Okay, thank you. And yeah, so again, we're happy to have Sean, Trish, and Fish to come in as my pinch hitters here, people that I can like go to and help with the show. Appreciate that.
Anytime.
So now Dave isn't alone.
I don't know. I scared everyone off. I don't know what happened there.
I think I
It
was
was the
actually
haircut.
originally like scheduled to be on tonight because I have like a message back in the chat logs that said like, "Are you going to be on tonight?" And then I forgot.
Let's see. I actually have you. You're going to be on next week. We have Beth Sotelo on. That's going to be on next week, and Cat
I'll be back next
Mouse
week,
will be here. Along with Erwin Papa, and Fang Fang will also be here next
Fang.
week. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be kind of like a little nice night for the girls. So we'll see. Just Erwin and I will be off to the side watching.
I'm a little bitter about ladies' night. I got to admit. All right, when I met my wife, I introduced her to all my friends, and out of all my friends are couples, and honestly, I hung out with the wives more than anything because we just had more in common, like crafting and artsy and stuff. We just had more in common on a lot of things. They loved my wife, which is great because I love my wife. She's awesome. My wife stole all my friends, and now they're all her friends, and now they go out for ladies' night all the freaking time, like at least once a month. They go out for ladies' night, and I'm just sitting here at home twiddling my thumbs while all my friends are going out and playing with my wife, and I don't get to go because I got a beard, and it's not fair. That's all I'm saying. I could rock ladies' night.
Yeah, I can kind of relate to that because I've always been around like a lot of women and stuff, and I would go out and I would be the only guy with them, right? But there's times too that they just want to have like an all girls night, and I'm not included, So I kind of like feel bad about it that I'm not included, even though I have them going out for like a lot of things. I have my guys' night too, or I go out with the guys as well. Just to let everybody know, I am straight. That's why I'm with Mog. But I can do that, so I can relate to that.
It's the glasses touch for me there, Mog. You're like, what now? You're muted.
Annie likes to her and her
So
friends.
is it like scorching hot where you guys are too? Because it's 100 degrees where I'm at right now.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Dude, I live in Arkansas, man. It is always hot.
Yeah.
It's hot in the winter.
It's hot in the
and
winter
rainy.
in Arkansas.
Hot and rainy. That's pretty much all it is down here in the winter.
Arkansas.
Like my fish, Mel is similar to you. He has a lot more girlfriends. Like since he was young, as in like friend who's just a girl, right? So I mean, if I heard you right, you also had a lot more friends who were female.
Lately, I mean, like back in the day, I was a scarier dude. But now that I'm like, a little old man, like I'm closer with most of the wives in the friend group. Like, I mean, I'm friends with the husbands, and a lot of us became friends because I was friends with the husbands first. But like, I just click better with the wives because they're all creative and, like to do creative things and be weird and goofy. And their husbands are always, worried about appearing straight. And I could not care less. So, like I'm perfectly fine, getting covered in glitter while we're making crafts or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. For me, it was I was a good listener, and I would try to give them solutions to their love, romance problems. But what I was doing is actually a recon mission, just trying to figure out how women think and work.
I thought women don't usually like you to give them solutions.
They don't.
That's what he found out. That's what his reconnaissance showed him.
That's what they call mansplaining, and I don't think the ladies like that too much.
No, they just want you to listen.
You're wrong, and let me explain why.
All right.
No.
But I'm different. When I ask you, I really want you to to solve my problem. Trish, aren't you kind of similar to where you're like, okay, even if it's a guy, you tell them, hey, this is my problem, man. And then you kind of want them to give you a good, solution.
Yeah, it's like anything else. A lot of things are collaborative, and if I'm thinking I'm going to solve a problem one way and I feel like it's not going to work, I will crowdsource that solution. See if I can get a good answer. Mm-hmm.
And if, for the record, if I toss an idea out to you and it sounds really freaking stupid, tell me that. Like, just say, you know what? That's stupid, and I'll tell you why. Just give me the reasons. Let me know. Don't let me walk off a freaking cliff saying, oh, yeah, sounds great. Oh, this is going to be a disaster. Like, if you're my friend, tell me. Don't just like, oh, I didn't want to hurt your feelings, but I knew it was stupid.
Oh my God.
That's what happens in our younger days. We're just too afraid to say, oh man, that was really stupid, but I hope he doesn't really do it. But then you go ahead and you do it anyway.
Everybody said it was a good idea.
Yep.
Now I'm doing 15 to life.
Like Fish, I totally relate to you because sometimes I have this like friend and we say be together for like 7 years and I thought you're my best buddy, but you're still trying to be polite to me. Like that's kind of not cool, man. Just
oh yeah,
tell me the truth.
There
thought it
have
was
been
you.
times that like I went to somebody that I trusted and I was like, "What do you think of this?" And like, "Oh man, that's awesome." And then I like publish it or I put it out and then it gets like, negatively received, or it turns out that I misspelled something
Yeah.
or something, and
That's
they're
the
like,
thing that gets me when people
or
let
they're
me
like, "Yeah,
misspell
I
things at
saw
work.
it, but I didn't want to hurt
Oh,
your
really?
feelings."
I didn't want to hurt your feelings, and I'm like, bro, you let me look stupid. Like,
It hurts a
Yeah.
lot worse having 300 strangers telling me I screwed it up than if you had told me in private.
oh god, I misspelled. I had a piece where I wrote cuteness aggression, and it was like a character hugging a little like stuffed animal, and the word aggression was spelled wrong, and I didn't realize it at first. So I put it up, and I'm like, yeah, this piece is super cute. Whatever, people will like it. No one says a thing, and then the next day I go, oh my god, that's spelled wrong. Why did no one say anything? I fix it and repost it, and I was like, listen, if I misspell something, y'all need to tell me instead of let me look stupid. Because I don't have an editor and I'm bad at spelling. So
I was doing a piece live on my live stream. I'm sitting there working on the computer, got the camera on and all, and I've got like several friends in there that I trust. And the whole time I'm working, I misspelled the sign on the cobbler shop, and it just says Cobber. And and once I realized it said Cobber, I died laughing. And then I start singing songs about the cobbers coming to get you and whatnot. But anyway, I was like, dude, why didn't anybody tell me? And everybody in my audience is like dyslexic or like super ADHD or all this other neurospicy stuff.
Right.
And like none of them realized. They were like, dude, you cannot come to me for spelling. That's the wrong audience, man.
Yeah.
What was the word? Cobbler?
Yeah.
Cobbler.
It's from my new book. Yeah. It's like the story of the cobbler and the elves, where he has the elves making everything for him. In Alice Lost in Wonderland, he's this like demonic broker of deals, and his office is like a pocket dimension. So if you ever go looking to make a deal, some door somewhere around you will turn into the cobbler shop door, even if it's your bedroom door. And it opens up into his little pocket dimension, and his elves are these little finger spider things that build things for him. And he'll give you whatever you want, but he's going to take something in exchange for it, and his deals don't usually work out well for you. But
wow,
really interesting character. Really one of my favorite parts. It came from role-playing game I ran forever, and so now he's in my new book. And I'm just going on and on about how cool the story is, and the whole time the sign on the page says Cobber Shop.
Cobber Shop.
That's adorable, actually.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It was so funny. I was so tempted to leave it in, but I was like, nah, too many people aren't going to understand, and I can't do that.
Except for the dyslexic and mentally spicy people. Yeah, totally. Because they were listening to you. Yeah.
For the like 20 people that were in the live stream with me, it would be hilarious. For the other people that are going to buy the 1,000 copies I'm going to print, not so much. So I decided to err in the side of the masses there.
Yeah. So, hey, Dave, you guys, were you part of that, let's see, that thing they did last week with Phil and Steven?
Yeah, the mural, mural. Yeah, I was.
What was that about?
It's for this comic shop, King Kong Comics in Dublin, California.
Okay. I thought it was a library.
Had like a small comic convention there, and the three of us went. And afterwards, they were like, we got this wall. We're looking to maybe get a mural done, and would you guys be interested? And the three of us have worked together. Me and Phil have worked together. I've never worked together with Steven, but we hang out a lot and draw together and talk a lot.
Yeah.
And so it sounded like a fun thing to do. So yeah, we decided to do it, and it was a lot of fun. It's been probably 20 years since I've worked at that scale. It was really big. It was I didn't take the dimensions, but it was pretty large. It was
taller than you.
What?
It was taller than you.
Yeah, because it was an interesting wall because it had these arches, and the mural was above the arches, And so we had to be on these ladders and while we were painting, which that's something that we didn't think about either, because we're now working like 6-7 feet up in the air. And it's like
Those
solid
ladders add a
cement
whole
underneath
nother
us.
dimension to it. Like
Yeah,
the
it really
up and
does.
down
It
and the
really
up and down, and murals are a workout, man. People don't know that. Like they used to be a big part of my business, and like the amount of times I go from laying on the floor to up on the top of a ladder, man, it's ridiculous.
It really works. It's a good workout, you know, because you gotta step back a lot. You can't just stay up there and draw.
Do not step back while you're on the scaffolding. I learned that the hard way. Don't step back to look at your work. It will stick with you.
You had scaffolding, which that would have been sweet. We didn't think about that. We just had some ladders, some rickety old ladders that we just had.
That's so dangerous.
Around. And so, like,
gosh,
all of us were a little bit, you know, I think at one of the highest points, I'd imagine it was like 20 feet up in the air. And to just like climb on these ladders, you're like at the very top of it. And if you go to my Instagram, you can see we all documented it quite a bit. There's a lot of pictures of us working on it.
So Dave, is that why you shaved your head? Because like, screw this, you had like trauma. The trauma.
The hospital did it for him after he fell. They shaved it.
I knew it.
Luckily, nobody fell. We made that decision before we started. We were like, no one's gonna fall today.
You can decide not to fall. I wish somebody had told me that.
What else can you decide not to do? Can you decide not to be in the country?
If you're fixing to let me in on some secrets here that could have saved me a lot of pain over the last 49 years, I'm going to be a little salty.
Yeah, you just decide that, you know, you make them. It's you know, one of those things.
Super simple.
Philip is saying that you tried to do the yo-yo on top of the ladder.
Yeah,
you really did.
I'm kind of a nerd with yo-yos, and
we know that.
I like to post a video of me doing some trick or something, and then so I was like, oh, I got to do it on the ladder, and that like one little like stumble on that, and you're just like, all right, that was not a good idea.
Man, we got to hang out, dude. We have got to hang out.
You don't have fear. Nobody had fear of heights.
I'm terrified of.
We all had fear.
Absolutely terrified.
Yeah, I think I had maybe a little less fear of heights than Phil and Steven. But we all definitely, like, I didn't think about it until you like start climbing that ladder. And as you get like higher up, you're even closer to the wall because it's like leaning against the wall. And so the tendency to want to like lean back to see what you're doing becomes more necessary, but obviously much harder. So it was fun. It was fun. Like I said, I've done murals before, but they were always on like the walls that were like just, you know, you could stand on the ground for most of it. This one we were on ladders.
Yeah, that was pretty high. It's like you're going up 2 stories or so.
Yeah,
from what I saw there.
It was high, and none of us even thought about it before we started to do it.
So your hands are free,
of
right?
course not. You think you're going to be okay and safe, you know. That everything's
Dave,
going to be sturdy until you get up there and then, hey, you know what? This thing is actually shaking.
No, that's you shaking. The ladder's just going with you.
So Dave, your hands have to be free, right?
What?
Your hands have to be free because you have this for the palette, you have this for the brush. So the only thing that's balancing you is your grip on your legs on the ladder.
Yeah. So like I kind of had a strategy where I had a small cup of paint and my brush, and I would get up on the ladder and I would use this arm to kind of brace the ladder so I could dip and then still like work like that. Yeah, it worked out right. I think at the end I was actually pretty comfortable doing it, but you know, the first couple lines that you start, actually the first half of the time we were working, it was pretty scary. So
it was like a typical artist thing. Nobody was prepared. Nobody just thought about like, yes, it might be dangerous. Yeah.
No,
of course not.
Let's just show up with our tools. You know,
I feel called out.
Okay.
Now Philip writes, I was the smallest guy, and I hogged the wide wooden ladder because it was the widest.
See, that thing, like I'm a really big guy, so like having my feet crammed together on a narrow ladder makes me real unstable. Like I stand with my feet shoulder width apart. They don't make ladders that wide. So like, but when I could get on scaffolding, I would get a lot more comfortable eventually. I mean, at first it's really shaky and scary,
Yeah.
but then you get used to it, and then you get too used to it, and you start to forget that you're up there,
Right.
and that's when you
Yeah,
make
you get
mistakes.
complacent,
A
yeah.
friend of mine
Yeah.
was painting a billboard, and he got done doing one side, then he went over and did the other side, and he stepped back to look at his work, and he fell off the billboard. He's lucky he fell off the side he did because it was on a hill. His side was like 15 feet, the other side was 65. So he would have been
Wow.
absolutely dead on the other side.
Don't they have like lanyards that you can strap around a belt lanyard that you can strap around to yourself?
I think that's
and then
what
you
they
can latch on.
that's what they want them to do now for
You don't
for
work at the
safety.
same sign shops I worked at.
Okay, but
I worked in the
Fish,
Navy, so we had to every morning we would go out, or whenever we would leave on the ship. I was the guy that they would go and be like, you know that flag they put at the very tippity top of the front of the ship? Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we do that while the ship's moving, right? So I had to go around to the front of the ship as it's moving out of port, and I would have to. They would lift up the pole after they put the flag on it, or what, vice versa. They would put the flag on it after we put up the pole. But they would have to lift up the pole, and I was the guy that went around, and I had to put a pin in to keep the pole latched up, and then I would have to screw it in by hand with a giant wrench as the ship's moving. And it was like not fast. It was like, it took like 10 minutes to get the thing on. So here I am at the tip of this destroyer going like
Wouldn't be me.
15 knots, winds in my face, and I got the belt on. I got the belt on, and that's latched in, and I'm latched in onto the thing, and that's what I did that for years. Yeah.
Nothing but
So-
you.
Not like
and
but it was pretty often.
but Sean, like,
You got to get extra pay to do that.
did you
No.
did
Guys
you
would pay, man.
did you piss somebody off? Like,
No,
only you?
that was like
You must have really pissed somebody off
I
because
didn't
it's
piss
only
anybody
duty.
off.
the laundry crew when they had to change his
I think I
pants
might
after
have
doing
volunteered
that.
for it. They're like, "Who wants to put the flag up?" And I was like, "I'll do it." Like whatever.
You know what? Once
And
you
I
kind of
didn't
get
know
over
like
the
which
fear,
flag they were talking about, and then I was like, "Oh shit!" Well, I'm like, but I was at that point of your life where you're like, "Well, I said it, so I'm gonna do it," and you just do it.
Can't wuss
you know?
out in front of all the guys.
There's like two other people helping with the pole, and they're sort of like, as you're doing it, you're lashed in, but they're holding on to you as well, right?
Oh,
So
no.
there's like security, but still,
I don't know
you're
about
at the
that.
tip of it. Well, I mean, I'm alive.
Still
as far as
doesn't
I
sound
know.
too secure to me. All right, let's go around the block and see where everybody's at. Let's start with
Yeah.
Mog.
Huh?
She's working on Batgirl and looking for an opening bid of 50. Got quite a bit done there. Pretty
Yay.
impressive there. Looking good. All right, let's go to Trish. She's working on Scar, also looking for an opening bid of 50. Looks like
Oh,
she's
that's
almost done with that.
I want that scar.
Look at that.
Scar's so
Wow.
cool. That
I
should
like
be
how
in
she
the-
has a little window she's looking through through there.
I'll see the scar.
It's
maybe.
even too creepy.
Going a
looks
little
a little,
creepy if I look
looks a
through
little
here.
spooky and scary there.
Do that.
All right, Fish, let's see what you got going there. Working on Taskmaster.
Oh, so
Okay.
badass.
Very nice, very nice. Looking mean.
Telling you, that's
Okay.
why I like him. He's awesome.
Also
Hey,
looking for a bid
Taskmaster-
of 50.
Is he a bad guy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
he's a
I
bad
mean,
guy.
sometimes he's been like middle of the road training
Yeah.
mercenaries and stuff,
Yeah, he's
but
going
yeah,
to
he's
the
a bad
highest
guy.
bidder. He's he
Yeah.
is a mercenary going to the highest bidder. All right, Sean, let's see your original here.
Yeah, right.
Looking
Here you
for
go.
a bid of
There you go.
80.
Yeah, she's coming along.
Ooh, that's
Fun.
actually looking nice.
Oh,
Beautiful face.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful face.
Yep.
so
Very
fleshy.
nice, soft looking.
Touch
Looking
it.
for a bid of 80 on that. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and put that into the comments.
I messed
And
it
then
up.
last but not least, Mr. Dave Law is working on Polaris and Scarlet Witch and looking for an opening bid of 75. Looks like he's got a lot done there too. Okay. And don't forget, if you haven't noticed yet, put in #EXP Live. That'll get you qualified for the free giveaways tonight. And we will reveal what those will be later on this evening. And don't forget, hit that follow button. Help us increase our followers here, so that way we can continue to bring you wonderful content like our show. And on that note, we will be right back after this short commercial break. So don't go away.
In a world where you hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, that'd be really great. Thanks.
So, the show is called The Geek Chat. And really, there's just a couple of geeks.
I'm Rich.
I'm Dez.
And we are your hosts for this weekly guide into comic bookery and all the geeky stuff that goes with it.
And that pretty much says it all. They talk about the latest movies and shows.
Okay, I'll be completely honest with you. Overall, D+ movie.
So the end. Did you know who that is?
That's She-Ra, yeah.
Yes.
The new #1 comics of the week.
We rep Samuel Jackson and we rep Mace Windu.
I passed on this. I was like...
No regrets.
No regrets. I really wanted to like this book. I really did. Like, I really did.
And just chat with each other. And with you.
Oh, Daniel says, I dosed off with the first one. I have zero interest in the Joker Harley ship, not Harley herself. Enjoy, not for me. Yeah, this movie's gonna be rough for me to sit through, I'll be honest.
The Geek Chat, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Just a couple of honest geeks.
Let's be honest. Come on.
And that is why people watch us, because we're honest.
Giving their honest opinions.
And the thing you always have to remember about the internet is everyone has an opinion, and they all suck.
Part of the experience. You love comic books. You collect comic books. But even if you own a rare, expensive issue, it's still a copy. How would you like to own a piece of comic book history? The actual art pages the comics were made from? Oh no, you say. That's too expensive. Regular people can't afford that stuff. Can they? Nick Ferrucci says yes. Join the founder of Dynamite Entertainment for the original art experience on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook. Incredible art at almost unbelievable prices. Does he have some high-dollar pieces for the high rollers? Sure, but Nick always makes sure to find amazing pieces priced for the fledgling collector. You can collect original comic art. The original art experience. Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Part of the experience.
Welcome back, everyone. Do us a favor, if you haven't yet already, hit that follow button to help us increase our followers so we can bring you wonderful content like Nick Berrucci's original art show. And if you may have heard some of the natural disasters that's happening out in Texas, and Jen King, who runs the her store out there, is going through a pretty bad ordeal. So if you can help her out, find the link for Jen King and buy some of her books that she's selling. And she's using that to not just help out the store, but her community as well. Right. And if you want to participate in the giveaways tonight, go ahead and put in #EXP Live, and that will get you in there for that. And yeah, I got that covered. Thanks, K-Pop Junkie, for joining the show. Yep, and that's Jen King's store. And JD has posted the link in the comments. So, yeah, if you have, be sure to check that out tonight. See if you can help out with what you can, if you can, that is. All right. We have not gotten any opening bids yet, but if you want to, you saw Mog's Batgirl. She's looking for an opening bid of 50. Trish is doing Scar, looking for an opening bid of 50. Taskmaster from Fish, also looking for 50. And we got Sean's original character with the beautiful wings that he's put on there and a nice face, looking for an opening bid of 80, while Dave is working on 2 characters. So you're getting a deal here for Scarlet Witch and Polaris at 75 is the opening bid for that. Okay. So if any of you guys want to do that and start the bid off, we can get into a bid war later on. Let's see. Steve writes, Fish, be careful not to write Taskmaster's name as Masktaster.
No, that's my new original character that I just now decided I'm going to start publishing. Mask Tasker. That's awesome, dude.
Say that real fast.
Yeah. Mask Blaster.
Okay.
God, that is so funny. That is such a good idea, though. Like, I mean, you could really play off of that. You could riff off of that idea. Like, like you're taking all the superheroes to task. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if you can make it past me, you deserve to be it's writing itself right now. Why isn't somebody writing this down? I'm looking at you, Dave.
This is being recorded.
Hey,
there you go.
That nobody is, and you can keep it for yourself.
I won't remember.
That. Yeah, that could be your Mighty Claw's next villain.
There you go, Mask Tasker. Man, that's gonna stick in my brain. Watch it show up. He's gonna show up in Alice Lost in Wonderland or something at some point. Guarantee it.
Let's see. JD writes, Mask Tasker teams up with, oh God, P-Duel. P-Duel. Oh my God. Here we go.
I challenge you.
Oh my God, he likes to taste the mask.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we better end it there before this goes over the line.
Oh, you think it's gonna get weirder?
Let's get weirder. Let's do it.
Hey, Fish.
I didn't know you been that way, Dave.
Where my friend fell off the billboard.
So, your friend that fell off from the 15-foot.
Yeah.
After he fell, did he go back and start painting? Wow.
No, he finished it, but he was out on a job site alone with the work truck and stuff. So he fell off, completely knocked the wind out of himself. He's laying there for minutes, like trying to get his breath, then trying to get his composure together. Then he has to go through this cow field and pick up all the paintbrushes and stuff he knocked off when he fell off. Then he has to climb back up there and get all of the paint and stuff and get it all down and load up the truck and haul his butt home after falling that far. He should have been going to the hospital. But again, I was like, you know, y'all don't know the kind of sign shops we worked for. I was at one shop and it had like a 40-foot ladder truck where it's basically a big aluminum ladder that it cranks up like a firefighter's would, you know, and it goes 40 feet in the air to do the big installations. And they sent him up there in a storm with the wind blowing, and the ladder ended up twisting and he fell 40 feet to the ground. He got rushed to the hospital. They drove the truck back to the shop. The boss put a 2x4 in the ladder, bent it straight again, put another crew on the truck and sent them back out to finish the job.
What the hell?
They sent my buddy this time because he was the littlest guy in the shop. Like he was like 5 feet tall and weighed like 90 something pounds. So like, he won't make it bend again. And they sent him back out there.
There ain't nothing scarier than knocking the wind out of yourself, though.
Oh man!
As someone who's done it just by landing face first on the sidewalk. Not face first, but chest first on the sidewalk. I was walking the dog and I tripped over the curb. Bam! Pancake. And I remember just laying there for a good 2 minutes trying to like catch my breath. I felt like, well, this is it. This is how I die.
Whole life flashing before your eyes. Like,
It's like-
oh, it's
And I'm like
brutal.
trying to gasp, tell my husband, like, please don't tell people this is how I went out. Please
I remember
make up something else.
I felt like a story, knocked the wind out of myself. And my buddy comes up and he keeps hitting me on the back. Every time I get a gasp of air in, he'd knock it out. And I'm just like, I'm gonna die because this idiot won't quit hitting me on the back.
This is it.
Creative Keep writes, that sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen. And I have to
Yeah.
agree with him. You're sending
man.
somebody up there while there's a storm going on. That just does not sound right at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
How did that go down?
Take
The
that
key
to a
is you
local
hire
bar,
people
man.
that aren't going to sue. That's what you do.
Ah.
Like, there were a lot of, like,
Oh my God.
let's say people with substance issues working there.
Okay.
There were a
okay.
lot of people that were
All right.
working off the books because they
Okay.
were
All right.
trying to
Gotcha.
defraud Social Security or trying to get away from paying alimony to their ex-wife
Gotcha.
and stuff.
Okay.
So when you've got a whole shop filled with those characters, you can do whatever you want, and nobody's gonna fuss about it because they need the job.
Until
Right.
someone dies.
Yeah, I understand. I used to.
Oh, they
no,
did.
I better
Dude
not
died
say.
right before I started working there. That's how I got
Oh
a
my
job.
God.
What?
What the hell?
That's like that documentary, what Tiger King or something.
Yeah.
He had a crew full of
Get your arm cut off and go right
yeah,
back to work the
convicts.
next day.
Yeah.
I was wondering how you're going to tie that in. I was like, Tiger
Jesus.
King.
Oh,
All right. Yeah.
fish got me, Dave.
Aw, yay.
Oh. Thank you, Creative Keep. Trish is amazing.
Absolutely. And that scar is awesome.
I know. I want the score.
He's coming along.
I think someone just wrote in the comments that, like, H.R. Geiger, that's how he died. I didn't realize that.
Huh?
Someone wrote in
Falling
the
off a
comments that
ladder.
that's how H.R. Geiger died.
Yeah.
I
Falling
did
off
not
a
know.
That's what they're
Stairs?
saying.
Were they
That I don't
sideways?
know.
No, he
Is
fell.
there-
He fell. It says
Oh.
off of.
Can you elaborate on that, Steve?
No, what is it? What did I
Okay,
see?
Creative
It
Keep.
was a
I
little-
see that. So
Who said
Creative
it?
Keep has a bid on Scar for 50. Good to see you on here, Creative Keep. Mog probably doesn't know who you are, but I do.
Mm.
I'm just
Keep it
recording that
creative.
down right now. Creative Keep has that. Steve writes, Sean, I see that your angel has sewn on a couple of breast pockets using some very dark rags.
Do you want me to take them off? Because I don't care. I'm doing it for these guys, not for me.
And that is
I don't care either.
Okay,
Is there
great.
anything? Is there anything on it though?
There's just nipples, man.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll
Now
make
we
it equal.
care.
Yeah, so
JD
there you
has
go.
to.
There it is. There's one. You want to see the other one?
No, he said no. He said no.
okay.
Please.
Yeah, keep it. You got to keep it family friendly here.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry,
why.
guys. But I'll tell you what, if you want to see those come off, all you got to do is place a bid on it.
Yeah.
And you
We're
can
selling
take a look
nipples in
at
here
it
today, folks.
in your private home.
Yeah.
For your
Right?
collection.
For your collection.
In your
These are
personal
genuine,
collection.
unregulated nipples. You can do what you
Yeah.
want with them when you get them
It's
home.
it's art.
I've said this
Art.
before, but
Art.
we have the art that I have at my home that has any bare nipples. Those don't belong to me. Those mostly belong to my wife. And I'm
Oh.
like, okay. You do you,
Well,
hon.
And I can
Which
tell
she-
you
She
that
bought
we
one
do
from
have
Cat Mouse the
artwork
other day,
displayed in
too.
our home that bears nipples. Those belong to me.
Oh, I was the one from the comic book. Bought your Ahsoka Samurai. Oh
That's-
yeah.
He also bought your original Snowpaw.
Yeah.
That was the first piece he bought from you. Now you remember.
Okay,
Thank
Mr.
you, Creative
Rogue,
Keep. You've
Creative
knocked her
Keep.
memory back into place.
you
You
did a good choice buying Trish. Trish is amazing. Everybody here is amazing, by the way. So if you can spend your money and
Yeah.
spread it out,
Yeah.
except me, you spend a lot on me.
I was gonna say I don't think you can make a wrong purchase here. Everybody's
Yeah.
so great.
Yeah.
It has been. That's one of the things I've really enjoyed about this show is the purchases that I ship out, I almost always get a thank you letter from the people telling me like how much they enjoyed the book, how much they like the artwork, and that's freaking awesome. You don't get
Yeah.
that from every place. You got a really awesome crowd here.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we do like our crowd here. We appreciate them and love them. Right, everyday photos, Ashoka Sunrise. Wow, I bet that looks amazing just by seeing how that Batgirl looks. Yeah, it's one of our pieces that we've been that has done really, really well, and we can probably show one at a future show. You know, and he's Creative Geek writes, I'm a big fan of Trish for a while. Wife
Aw.
and I love Stray Dogs. Their own.
Oh,
Look
Stray
at
Dogs.
that! Look at that! Yeah.
Man, Stray Dogs, and I love the amount of people that I've been able to introduce to Stray Dogs through Feral and vice versa, like because they're they're in the same kind of universe. But a lot of people tell me they hadn't heard of Stray Dogs, and I'm like, did you miss all of 2021? But let me give you the pitch, and then I go into it, and most always I can get a somebody to pick up the trade paperback.
Yeah, it's like what were you doing in 2021? Everybody was locked down.
They were getting over 2020. This is like, oh,
yeah, they
God.
were like, wow. But like the number of like people who ask me questions about Stray Dogs and if there will be a crossover and things like that with Feral, we're trying to like keep that separated for now.
Yeah.
But there's a demand.
Oh, I know. You gotta, sometimes you gotta feed the demand, but it may only be in like a poster or something, just because like we're trying to keep the stories separated for now. But I can't wait for folks to see where like the rest of the issue or the rest of the story for Feral goes, because it's going wild. It's going feral.
Let's see. Thank you, Riot Everyday Photos, for the opening bid on Batgirl. And Creative Keep writes that during the COVID, it was an expensive time to be hunting down every variant cover.
Ooh,
that was hard.
I still have my entire Stray Dogs like collection of comps. I never sold a single one of them.
Wow.
So like I still have like a whole long box full of the original first printings of Stray Dogs, in the event that it gets popular again, and I can dump them all on eBay and retire.
Okay, well, the question is there going to be a sequel to Stray Dogs? Have you guys ever talked about that?
So the sequel to Stray Dogs was basically Dog Days, because Stray Dogs was a very contained story. It had a beginning, middle, end. It always was intended to end. Feral, on the other hand, we have like a projected 50 issue kind of like, ongoing. Okay. That's why, and we're doing it in like 5-issue arcs, which is really cool. To me, it's kind of reminiscent of like seasons of a TV series. So second arc, we're advanced a little bit, in the story. We're picking up these characters where they all leave off and continuing that story. But Stray Dogs, the sequel to that was called Dog Days, basically. And it was it's not really a sequel, but you get closure on some of the characters. And you find out where they came from and like, how they got to be in the master's house and all that. And it also had like the most variant covers I've ever seen on a book. Stray Dogs Dog Days #1 had 87 variant covers.
Wow.
Whoa.
Not even lying or exaggerating about that number. 87.
Do you have all 87?
I do. They take up about 9 short boxes.
Dang.
It's crazy the amount of space they take up. And I have like 5 copies or so of each one. And there were a couple of them that ended up not getting printed because the shops canceled or like disappeared. So like some of those variant covers only had 5 copies.
Oh my God.
So those super rare ones aren't really like, out there. But And Dog Days was fun. I wrote one of the stories in there for the first time because I'm not a writer. Tony asked me for a 10-page, like a 5-page story, and I gave him like the plot synopsis for like an entire issue. And he was like, "I gotta cut this down." I was like, "Yeah, you do that. I don't know what I'm doing."
Nice,
To me, all
nice.
the details need to be there. You know.
I think one of the Trish, what do you think about this? Like one of the important feature to become a successful artist is this is what I learned in a hard way. It's not only you who's working; it's a teamwork. So if you are able to take criticism, well, not criticism, but like working
Criticism.
together and compromise, the
Yeah,
better
I mean,
your success. Yeah.
that's how Feral is running. Like when Stray Dogs came to me, it was a fully finished, like basically the whole story was finished. I didn't really have much input in the actual story.
Yeah.
I had the input that I had was in fully building the characters from the ground up, designing them and all of that. We still kicked the designs back and forth, and that was pretty collaborative, but they all came from me initially.
Okay.
But the story was, I had no input. I had no impact on the actual story. It was always going to go the way it was going to go.
Yeah.
Feral, on the other hand, we all kind of kick in ideas here and there, like ideas that I've pitched have made it into the story. You know, that's how issue 6 came to be. That's how that silent issue came to be, because I showed Tony that video and I said we should do an issue like this.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be badass. So like, you know, and so we did. I think that Feral is much more collaborative in that regard. But and we all kind of kick in ideas. Tone does, I do. And Tony of course has the, you know, he has the main points, and then we all kind of pitch it around and, you know, get the story where it needs to be. So I think that's really neat.
What's really cool. Oh,
that's
sorry,
what's made it so successful, I think.
Yeah.
Is that we all kind of can be passionate behind it.
What I find is more commonly, I could be wrong, Trish, so you can please correct me. In my meager experience, the one usually artists, they're both hard to artist or writer. They're both a bit difficult to compromise because, you know, it's your creation. But I feel like I don't know. It's kind of cool that Tony is like just cool enough to just compromise and work with you and bring your voice more to the forefront.
Oh yeah, most people wouldn't give you that.
I know, that's what I'm trying
freedom.
to say. Yeah.
As well, he's an artist too, so I mean, it kind of gets we get a little tricky about things where like his vision will be different from mine, so we'll like kick an idea back and forth. I'll still get what I want while giving him what he wants. So it's like, you know, like if I see a scene differently than he sees it, because what I get from him is like a little thumbnail drawing of how a scene is supposed to be, and I mean, literally stick figures. Yeah. And I will put the character over it in the acting that I think would fit it. In the expression that I think would fit it, depending on what they're saying or whatever, or how much heartbreak I need to give into the piece or whatever, or what expression I need to do. But then he'll come back and he'll say, "Oh, I meant it this way." We do that a lot, especially on our cover work. Our cover work, he always changes like some of my lines. So like on our Feral's A's and B covers, we collaborate. I do pencils and he does, you know, the ink and color, because he likes to ink them traditionally and then color them digitally. So he'll ink them traditionally.
Wow.
You know, he'll print them out on the blue line and then he'll ink them traditionally. Because the covers, like, he likes to sell those at, you know, originals at shows.
Yeah.
So or sell them, you know, to whoever.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a story on that.
Yeah. Plus, you get good money for that. So and you can't get it if it's digitally.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of my work is digital, like because of the way we work, because of the way we have our team scattered. Our team is on, you know, East Coast, West Coast, and everywhere in between. So, you know, we have to keep things digital because that's how we work. But cover work, we make the exception for, because covers are, you know, they're much more visible out there.
Interesting. Okay.
But he likes to, we always compromise. When you're working in someone else's sandbox, it's harder to compromise like that.
Yeah.
We're working in our own sandbox. We can do whatever we want, basically.
Yeah. So you have and you can collaborate a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
But you're right. When you're working for somebody else's sandbox, you pretty much got to just do what they say. You can add some input and suggestions, but the final decision is theirs still. And you may not like it, but that's what you got to go with.
Yeah, Disney sandbox is a very narrow sandbox, so you have to kind of do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I do. That's how I do for things like this. Like
we don't tell you what to do. You just go ahead and do your thing how you want it, any way you want it. You got the total creative freedom there. All right. So when we come back, we're going to go to a short commercial break here. We'll go around the room and review everybody's arc and see where they stand. And so don't go away. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
We know you probably get a lot of emails, but could you please make sure to sign up for our mailing list? We don't send a lot of emails, and we try not to bother you. We just want to give you the best information about all the cool stuff that's going on around here. Sign up on our website, theexplive.com.
Whoa. Did you miss it? Yeah, they can go by pretty fast. Let's slow down the footage.
Welcome. It's time to skim some comics. Miles Morales Spider-Man, I will just tell you that Miles is very important in his role as a vampire. So
it's fine. If you like Hercules, read it. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. It's fine.
The art is still stunning. There's a panel, little spoiler, there's a panel in this where Chitauri first hits Lion-O, and he is the best "did she really just hit me" face I've ever seen put in a comic book.
Wow, live reviews of new comic books so you can be ready for New Comic Book Day. What is this? Oh, I see. It's Minute to Skim It. Part of the experience.
Welcome back, everybody. If you haven't yet, hit that follow button. And make sure you visit the Jen King shop and see if you can help her out a bit. They are going through some of the natural disasters out there in Texas. And if you haven't yet already, put in #EXP Live. That'll qualify you to get in for the free giveaways. And what are we giving away tonight? Well, this is what we're going to be giving away. We have got some... We haven't done this in a while. We got some Demon Bitch, a sticker, and a keychain that we're going to be giving away. So we got that. Okay, and we also have this is an oldie but goodie, rare comic, Nervous Rex. If any of you have seen this before, it's a kind of a fun read by William Van Horn. And from Ethereal Comics, they're going to be coming out with the regular issues, but we have this as a preview, Metal Girl. And Mog actually has a cover coming out on this So hopefully we'll see that soon. So those are the 3 giveaways that we've got going tonight. Once again, put in #EXP Live, and that will get you in there. Okay. Oh, so it looks like K-pop junkie knows Christy Shin. Yeah, the demon bitch herself. All right, good. Thank you. I see all that #EXP Live going in there. Okay, that's good to see.
To
All right,
acknowledge
now let's go
everyone else
around.
in the chat too, Tony is the best. Like, he's great. He likes to pull other people up with his success. I just wanted to interject that while I was.
Yeah, well, if you see him at the cons too, he's got like his he kind of has a group that he goes around with, especially if it's local cons and stuff like that. So you'll get to meet the group of people that he's with, and he's got a good group around him. But right now, let's go around the room and let's see where everybody stands with their artwork. Let's take a look at Dave, who's working on Scarlet Witch and Polaris. That already has a bid of 50, so we are looking for the next bid of 55 on that. Looking good. He's got
Dave,
the
you're
ink
so
there,
good.
working it. Yep. Nice.
Word. I think I saw the comment. It's to help pay for my haircut, which I appreciate that. Thank you.
He's halfway down to the Mr. Fish special. He just needs that extra installment. He'll be there.
There you go.
I can't grow facial hair. I wish. I'd love to grow a nice thick beard like yours. It looks so cool.
Give it time, man. I couldn't either for the longest time.
But
Yeah,
you
just
don't
give it time.
understand, Fish.
I think it should be any day now.
I have a hard time just trying to grow a goatee. You know? And it's just
I
not
wanted one
happening.
so
I've been
bad
trying
in the
for a
90s.
while
Oh,
now.
man.
Yeah. All right, let's look at Trish, who is working on Scar.
It's Scar.
Yeah, that also has the opening bid of 50 as well. So we're looking for the next one of 55. If you want to go ahead and place a bid on that, you can do so in the comments. All right. Don't forget to fill out the form. That will come up in the comments shortly. If you do win any of the giveaways or the art, that will be how we will get this stuff to you. All right, and now next, let's go to Fish, who is working on Taskmaster.
Dang, it's so cool.
He doesn't. Taskmaster doesn't have his mask.
I want Taskmaster too.
This one have a collection.
Slight
and he is looking. This is still looking for an opening bid for 50. He's starting on the colors there, so you know you're going to get a great piece. This is going to be full on. All right.
Fish, next time, I think draw Skeletor. I think if you can do Taskmaster this freaking awesome.
I did Skeletor 2 times ago, and it sold pretty well. That one had like the Mighty Cost Skeletor and He-Man on it.
Yeah.
And that was one of the ones I got a letter from. They really enjoyed it.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good piece. I remember that. All right, let's go to Sean, who's working on an original character.
Yep.
Nice wings.
Yeah, she's almost done.
Nice covers.
Oh, wow.
Nice face. Very soft looking. Yeah.
She's so hot. The candle's on her.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some pain there, but she's taking it well. Okay, looking for an opening bid of 75, I believe. Was it 75? No,
80. But I mean, I can
looking
go
for
lower.
80. Okay. Looking for 80 on this piece. So if you want to place a bid on that, $80 will get you in there.
I can go lower if you guys need me to go.
Okay,
lower.
and then Mog, let's take a look at yours. Batgirl in black and white.
So pretty.
Thank you. Thank you.
Has a bid of on there already, so we are looking for a bid of 55.
Yeah, she's gonna tie you up.
No rag pockets on there for Batgirl.
Convinced me for a life of crime.
Dave, I had a dream about 3 weeks ago.
Oh no.
I don't know why. Usually nobody comes out in my dream. Maybe once in a while, Mel.
Once in a while, I come there often.
Yeah, but suddenly you came in my dream.
And then she wakes up and then she's angry at me.
Okay, Mel, let's not get into that, okay?
You know what you did in the dream, Mel.
I have no idea.
I hate you so much.
I always wake up scared.
How dare you? But guess what, Dave? You went far away in my dream, right? And you somehow survived like an airplane crash.
All right.
Like, and then you were like, and then everybody thought everybody was dead, but you're the only one who survived and came back from a mysterious like island or something. And you know
He
what?
was
In my dream, you
lost.
cut your hair. You cut your hair like shit, exactly like what you are now.
You
And I'm like,
prophesized it.
wow. I was trying to tell you, Dave, I'm so glad you're alive, but you look really
Mm.
good. You should cut your
Wow.
hair.
Wow.
Man,
It was so weird.
That's actually kind of scary because I'm going to be on a plane soon.
Oh, really?
But I guess I'll survive. So.
And you know what you ended up doing? You ended
What?
up having like a weird power. So you won't talk about what happened or how you survived, but anything that's around you gets kind of changed, like affected. So I had a
Whoa.
yellow coping marker sitting next to you while you were over at my house and I had dinner, you know, with other friends.
very
And
involved.
the next day, that yellow coping marker, it gained a weird property where it changed into anything you desire. So like whatever
Wow.
you want within that kind of size dimension, it will just change. It will reflect what you desire. It was
That's
like
pretty
weird.
sweet. So you dreamt my origin story for my superhero character. For me, it's a
Yes, it
superhero.
did.
Are you serious? I don't know.
I'm saying like that's what happened. Like if I were to be a superhero, which
Wink, wink.
I don't know. And then you
maybe
and
I
I
changed Copic markers into like
no, but you were like
Only
freaky. You were
Copic,
like
though.
kind of like Jesus or something because
Whoa.
we were walking after dinner. I don't know why we had to walk a dog or something, and we were walking, and then this girl was walking with us, right? And for some reason, she became like totally dismembered and everything, like
All
just she had
right.
body parts everywhere, right? And I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, what do I do? And you know what you did? You kind of took the body parts and put it together, and then she came alive. I'm like, what the heck?
Mel,
Yeah.
I want to come over for dinner, man.
Yeah.
I want to eat whatever she's eating, and just
Turning folks into Copic Jesus over here, man. That's something.
I think that would be my
We just
name,
had a big
Copic
bowl of
Jesus.
mushrooms I found in the backyard. I don't know what happened.
Okay, either
Copic
way,
Jesus. That's my superhero name.
the whole
mushroom
idea.
risotto. Here we come.
Look, the whole thing, I was just so impressed. It's like stereotype me was Dave should cut his hair. He looks pretty good shaved, you know. He looks more like a man. I'm not saying you don't look like a man.
Well, there it is.
There's
There's the moral of the story.
Like really long hair. It's nice. It's very envious for people who are balding, right? And
It was a little bit of a flex, I've heard. Yeah. Some of my friends were like, that hair at your age is kind of a flex, Dave. And I'm like,
and now I totally see you shaved, like just like my dream. Are you okay? Did you go through a trauma?
no,
Sounds like you're about to.
It's
Not
funny, like,
before
I
this, no.
actually- I actually
Before
had
this
my hair like
conversation.
this most of my life, and
conversation
I
is the
decided,
trauma.
like just to let it grow and see what it looked like, and I kind of liked it, and that's why it was long. But like this feels more like me. Like the long hair was fun and nice, and I liked it, but this feels more like what I typically do, how I typically rock it.
I actually like it. I think it does look
Actually, you
better
you-
on you. You know.
Keep your hair. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. I get the Mel seal of approval. That means it's.
I have no idea what you looked like before, but I think you look dandy.
Bro, just stay away from planes.
Thank you.
Just stay the hell away from planes.
But no.
Stay the hell away from what?
From planes?
Oh,
Airplanes? Nope.
I gotta get on one in September. I gotta go to Rose City.
Time to get on the bus.
But
Take the train.
But
Get on the
I
bus.
survived it,
only
And if-
only he survived.
Oh yeah. Well, still, like risotto, mushroom
right, maybe you
risotto. That's
shouldn't
what I'm
complain.
expecting now.
Yeah. I think Sean's right. You shouldn't take a plane ride.
I just heard this whole thing. This guy released a book about like people's, they do these dreams. They have these dreams, and they actually come to life in the future. There was an artist. So back in the day, at the Twin Towers, they actually had a floor where they let artists do their thing. And there was this African American artist, and this is like 5 years before 9/11 happens, and he paints it 5 years before because it was in his dream, and he painted that he died in it. And when it happened, he died in it, right? So it's like that was a thing, right?
It was real. It's real.
Yeah, it was real. It's like a type of precognition thing. There's actually a lot of papers and whatnot that have been written about it, that people can have precognition through their dreams.
Do you guys get that? Do you dream that? Because I
all
do
the
that.
time.
You too, right?
All
Even
the freaking time.
Even like weird
And it's
conversations.
always nothing. It's always the weirdest little bit of nothing. Like sitting in the car with my cousin Gumby and the Sonic car hop brings us our food. Or like sitting around a table and we're about to eat and there's a bunch of kids I don't know sitting around me 6 years before I ended up marrying my wife and having my new stepkids. And I'm like, oh, some of those are my stepkids, some of those are my grandkids. And but it's always just weird little bits of nothing. It's never like, this is the book that's going to be more successful. Do that one. Or, the winning lottery numbers are. No, it's always just, maybe I should play the lottery. Maybe that would change it if I started actually
I've also heard like ideas that it could be glimpses into alternate realities, right? Like we are here, but there's others, us's, and other realities that go through these motions. But either way, it's a thing. Like it's been researched and stuff. So stay away from planes.
Yeah.
Unless you want superpowers, turn anything into anything.
I mean,
but that sounds like a lot of.
No, the Copic powers sound pretty cool.
Sounds like
man.
With the cost of Copic markers, man.
Yeah. Maybe you
just touch it, automatically refills.
Yeah, maybe you'll get a thing with Copic. Call them up and be like,
no,
he's going to
form of a refilled marker.
Wow.
That's where I finally get my sponsorship, is being Copic Jesus.
No, but then Dave was like affecting things around him. So
that's also when you got your cease and desist order from Copic.
That's a comic book I would read.
No,
Copic Jesus.
No. But Dave,
no, you wouldn't read Copic Jesus.
I never dream about other people, like I say, except Mel once in a while. So that's why I remember more.
That's interesting. That
is interesting.
Yeah.
Said Copic Jesus.
So this is Dave's last time on the show.
One of many. Because he'll be Copic Jesus
nice
and he'll have
you,
his own show where he's like, look at me, it's Copic Jesus again.
Fake. I can see the special
Copic,
effects.
But,
Oh man.
I think it came out like you looked like Dave, but inside you really weren't. There's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's happened to me before.
You're just making it
about
work.
someone, it's not actually them, but it like they represent them in my dream.
I don't know, but yeah.
Them. It's not a him, but it's a them. Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, well, it's been a while since Mog came out of left field, so.
No, but
it was fascinating. I think it's fascinating.
Thank you, Sean. You're the best. Everybody laughs at me except you.
Well, I mean,
that's because he's laughing inside.
I like it.
I've had to live with it my whole life, and it doesn't make any sense. But
it's okay. Never mind. Everybody understands. But it's
what about synchronicity stuff? Do you guys have any of that happen to you?
What's that? Explain.
Where like you see one thing and then it sort of repeats into other things, right?
Huh?
So like my wife and I were watching Ender's Game, right? And there's on the ships there's this symbol. It's like a circle with a bar in between it, right? And I'm like, oh, that's a cool symbol. And then later on, I'm at like a breakfast place down the street, and I walk by this thing and I see that symbol again. Like this is like a day later, right? I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then I look it up, and like supposedly I try to like look for what that symbol means, because I'm like, well, I've seen it twice, and I'm like, oh, it means like divine feminine, which is Sophia, which is like the Holy Spirit, which goes into like this whole esoteric thing that I was studying like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Right? Like you see me drawing stuff like this, right? Like this is me like exploring this whole esoteric thing. And I was like, that's bizarre because I was only studying that like a week ago, right? So like all these things start like sort of lining up. There's also the whole thing with like 1111, right? That's supposed to be like a whole lucky number thing. So if you like, if you're like just working or whatever, and you look up or you just look at your watch, even if it's not the right time and it shows like 1111 because it might be a little off, it's supposed to be like you're on the right path type of thing. There's all this esoteric stuff, but synchronicities, man, like that's a thing.
You know, the synchronicity, I don't want to really burst your bubble, but in the marketing kind of world, once you expose something and you kind of take a note of it, you can't help but kind of recognize it outside of that.
Yeah, but see, what I was saying was like I saw this thing here, and then I like saw it another time, which that applies to what you're saying. But then when I look up what it means, like which is a totally different thing.
Yeah.
That not related. I mean, it's related to the symbol, but I wouldn't know it was related to the symbol. Then it's sort of like, you know, that has a bigger synchronicity, right? Because one's an image thing, but then looking up the meaning of it and having that meaning say, oh, this was something that you were just looking up like a week ago. That you never saw the image. Right? Or the logo or the iconography. That's the weird synchronicity thing. Right?
Okay. Well, for the numbers thing, I've experienced that a lot. Like especially during a certain period of time, for like intensely. But I don't know if that changed me. I just thought it was just bizarre, you know.
Oh, it doesn't have to change you. It's just saying that this is like how the universe works in a very particular way, right? Like numerology is like a thing.
Yeah, it's because of the pattern, right? It's basically a pattern recognition. I don't know. Isn't it? Numbers?
I mean, I've heard cases where people are like, I saw this number on a license plate, and then I had to go to the doctor's office, and his office was that same number. And then, when I get to that office, I sit down in this chair and I look down at the serial number and the last 3 digits of the same number. Like that's really weird, right?
Yeah.
But that happens to people all the time. So it's like,
now that I look back, Sean, the only reason why I could link up to it was during the, like the Great Depression around 2008 all the way to around 2010. I was gonna move from one state to another, and plus I was thinking of trying to pursue like seriously an art career. This is just before Game of Thrones. So it's almost like now that if I look back on it on hindsight and you're questioning your life choice, right? Maybe the whatever universe, I could say synchronicity thing, was saying, just do it. It's gonna be okay. Go, just do it. And then after that, I had just before Hawaii, I had to make a choice. Do I move to Hawaii from Illinois? And I was like really just super worried, right? Because it's like an unknown change in the future, right? And I was in a bench in a park, and I was watching my son and Mel, they just play, in the playground. And I said, please give me a sign. I mean, I don't usually pray, but I prayed that day, and I said, please just give me a sign that it's gonna be okay. And then I looked down, right? And on the ground, I saw 4 4-leaf clovers. So I thought, okay. So I picked those 4-leaf clovers and I put it in a book. It's kind of, when do you ever see a 4-leaf clover and 4 of them all at once?
Yeah, I actually remember that. I forgot about that.
Almost like, so I was like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And then after that, I saw so many like 11, like nonstop. Oh, Scar's so amazing. I love it.
Yeah. It's a
thing. And then I got the email from Game of Thrones. Hey, do you want to work for us? I mean, it's like maybe the thing. I don't know. Could be a coincidence. I don't know.
Yeah, we got the email, but we also said we'd love to, but we can't.
Yeah.
At that time. But anyway, let's go around the room. Let's take a look at the artwork that's got going on, and we'll be taking a break right after that. Let's start with you, Mog, since you've been doing a lot of talking.
I didn't do. How dare you?
Oh, look, she got a lot done there. All right. That already has a bid of 50, so we are looking for the next bid of 55. Let's go to Sean, Mr. Sean P.
Yeah, I'm just cleaning it up a bit.
All right, he's
Put a little
doing a
thing
little
on
cleaning
those.
up a bit. Still got the rags on there. Okay, those can come off. Okay, looking for a bid of 80 on that still.
Yeah.
Now is the time to place that bid in there. Okay, let's go to Mr. Dave Law, who already has a bid on his of 50. Looking for the next one of 55. Scarlet Witch and Polaris. Showing it all there. Okay. All right, let's go to Trish, who was done with Scar a while back.
Oh yeah, I'm just kind of noodling on him. I'm still like kind of putting random finishing touches on him.
She was
making me look bad over there, getting done that quick.
I love that scar.
You know, she was also highly motivated. She just got back from watching Lion King, the 30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Scar's my favorite villain in all of the Disney movies, period, ever.
The actor is phenomenal.
Yeah, the actor is phenomenal.
He
played that
committed
well.
the first on-screen Disney murder, so he had to commit.
You're like, finally, a Disney that we can all like.
Yeah, that's right. Finally, a villain I can relate to. We need to commit murders on screen.
Okay. All right. Let's go to who's next? Dave?
I think you already
Mr.
did
Dave
me.
Law. There you go. Oh wait, we did that already, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to Fish. Working on Taskmaster.
There we go.
Color.
He's getting all the colors in there. Yeah.
Copics.
Well, knockoffs.
But remember,
Okay. Looking for a bid of $50 on that still. So if you want to bid on that, go ahead and put that in the comments. And on that note, don't forget to put in #EXP Live to get you qualified for the giveaways, which we'll be doing very shortly after this brief commercial break.
Twitch, it's not just what happens when you have too many energy drinks anymore. Check out our content over there too.
Ask your local comic shop to add Battle Quest comics to your pull list today.
By this time in our journey, we had been on the trail of a very elusive creature for about 96 hours. But all the hard work is about to pay off. Oh, crikey, there she is. Oh, by the markings, I'd say this one's at least a 9.8. Oh, she's a real beauty. A true mint copy. Oh, this one will make a fine slab on anyone's display wall. Oh, she's a feisty one, though. Look out, look out!
Mint Hunter Comics is the place to find that mint comic you've been searching for. Mint Hunter Comics, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, part of the experience.
All right, hit that follow button. You know we want to increase our followers so we can continue to bring you wonderful content like The Mint Hunter on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you haven't yet, Pound Sign XP Live to get you in for those free giveaways, which we'll be doing in about 10 minutes. We've got the Demon Bitch memorabilia here that we'll be doing, giving that away, along with Nervous Rex, old comic book, but fun to read and look at. And then this new book from Ethereal Comics, Metal Girl. Take a look at that, huh? All right. All right. If you guys want to go ahead and bid on the artwork, go ahead and do so in the comments. Don't forget to fill out the form, which our producer will put up there shortly. And that's the only way that we know how to get this stuff to you. So make sure you get that right. And let's see, I think the last 2 times that we were on, we've had people placing their bids, but haven't filled out the form. So we don't know where to send those. So that stuff has been already, we call that NIG, right? So we've taken those back.
Yeah.
And we're selling them wherever else we want to. Okay. So if you don't fill out that form, we're not going to be able to get this stuff to you. All right. So with that said, we could continue on these.
Okay. So I had something to share. Okay.
Okay.
So Sean.
Yes.
So talking about synchronicity. Here's something really trippy that happened.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Thank you for the highlight, JD. Really appreciate that.
So it sounded very important. So
okay.
Well, when Mog's going to talk, you want to listen.
Okay.
That's
so
right.
anyway, I'll try my best right now. So, do you know the artist Daniel Glover by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Glover or Gover?
Gover. So he was kind of like about to meet up with us to eat breakfast, but he canceled because he had an early flight to leave. And he was waiting for his lift. And Tony Moy, another art friend of us, helped him because they were rooming together in a hotel. So the lift came, and it was a red Yaris, like an economy car. So they're like, oh crap! So they tried to just shove everything in as much as possible. And the lift guy said, Daniel was like, yes. So he finally got in, packed it okay, and he drove off. And Tony Moy went back into his hotel. He's like, oh God, I can at least catch maybe like 15, 20 minutes more sleep. And while he's sleeping, 15 minutes later, he get a phone call from Daniel and said, hey, oh my God, I'm finally leaving to the airport. And I said, hey, what happened? I just said goodbye to you 15 minutes ago. And it turns out there was another Daniel that was requested for another red Yaris at the same time to go to the airport from the same hotel. So
with a
Daniel
different driver
had to get out of the red Yaris because it was another Daniel that the red Yaris was fighting for. Yeah, is that like a weird synchronicity? What is the chances of finding another Daniel at the same time?
Probably, but it's not like too much of a weird one.
I think that's weird. Okay.
I think it's more like when it's like 3 or 4 things, or if it's something like super bizarre. Like Carl Jung has a thing about synchronicity. Carl Jung, the philosopher, that, and he's also like a psychologist, where he thinks like the universe sort of like answers certain things with synchronicities at certain times when you need them to. So he had this one patient who was like having this whole problem and blah, 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 blah. And then she had a dream where she saw like an Egyptian beetle, right? And while they're having the conversation about the dream, literally, and I think this is like Europe, like a beetle flies into the window and it's not native to Europe at all. And it's practically from Egypt. And he's like, here's the thing from your dream. And it was like, there's more to it, like, oh, you don't have to worry about that problem, blah, blah, he told her. But it was just like, it was like something that wasn't supposed to happen, but it happened type of thing. Right? I mean, I guess that's sort of the same thing with yours, but not as much as like, because that beetle wasn't even native to Europe. Like it was just like it just came out of the ether almost. There's
Okay.
there's things like that that I always thought are interesting, and there's things about creative things as well. Like there's that writer, I think it's Alan Moore, right? Like
Yeah.
he's written certain things where he said, like literally, I wrote this because there's a whole thing where people think like as us as creative people, if we put enough energy and thought into it, we could almost make things realistic or happen from it, right? So people
Yeah.
have like tried to work that into things. It's like magic, but there's been certain results that have happened
Wow.
from it. Now there's all this stuff that's happening that's we think are esoteric in nature, but people are starting to test these things against like real life like scientific models, and
Yeah.
they're getting really weird results. Like it's just bizarre.
I
And
never really thought about it, but like most of my best story ideas came from dreams where like I was watching the Netflix show or whatever about my story and just, I was like, oh man, that's a cool story. And then I'd wake up and write it down and it ended up becoming Green Zone. And did the same thing with the Mighty Call. I laid down for a nap, instantly woke up seeing the pinup that ended up in the book of him and got up and I was laughing at the pun of the name, the Mighty Call, the Cro-Magnon. And then a month later it was a book and it was for sale.
Right, it just happens like that, and I think it's just the universe going, yeah man, this is possible, because that's like people are always like, oh that doesn't make any sense, and I'm like, but you're part of the universe, right? And the universe is so big and so vast and so crazy. It's an information source, right? Like
Yeah.
I feel like it can be possible, but we just have to be able to like call on it. There's a whole thing with like Native Americans, and I think either and other things too, where like say they haven't had any rain or anything, or something like really bad weather or something, they will go and thank the universe for everything that they have been given, and then ask or assume or say thank you for the rain, even if they haven't had the rain, and then they'll get rain. Like that's a thing that they've talked about too.
I mean, in
It's
Korea,
fascinating.
we had like a ritual
Yeah.
whenever we needed. There's a great drought. We would sacrifice like virgins to the sea god.
Yeah.
So, and then you had to volunteer too. If it doesn't have, it won't work if the girl doesn't want to do it. She has to voluntarily jump into the ocean and die. Then it will work. So yeah, I don't know the validity, but you know what, Fish, you remind me of the writer who did Blade Runner, and Adjustment Bureau, and all of that. He was actually a early 1900s.
Philip K. Dick?
Yeah, he was like that, where like Philip, where he would dream about it, or sometimes it's his dead twin would tell him like, "Hey, this is it through the dream." So,
well, you know what he said.
What did he say?
Philip K. did a whole like live panel where he came out and said, "I didn't write all these stories; they came from memories and dreams that I had, and I think we're living in a simulation."
Yeah.
Like he literally said that live. Like you can find it on YouTube. It's on video and everything, right?
We're starting to hear that more often now.
But,
you know what's funny? I just heard a thing about that, like not even today, right? It's like not even today. Yeah. No, about Philip K. Dick.
Oh, okay. No, is there something like a synchronicity moment then? If it got
I mean, a little bit, yeah. I mean, we're sort of talking about the topic anyway, so it's sort of expected. But yeah, I would say like, but that we're talking about the topic, and that you brought him up. That's sort of,
I don't know. Fish reminded me of it, so that's all. Yeah.
Ground control to Major Mog.
What's up, Ilya? You have a beef with me? Huh? You want me to have some kind of control? Is that what it is, Ilya?
You want me to come through that comment section?
Huh? Ilya. Yeah. What's up, man?
All right, before we get any wild, let's do the giveaways. Yeah. First thing we're gonna give away is the Demon Bitch memorabilia here. Here we go. Here we go. Pound sign the XP live. Unknown 869. Woo!
Yay!
Way to take a win. And next up is the Nervous Rex by William Van Horn. K-Bob Junkie wins that.
Yay, congrats.
Way to go.
Yay.
K-Bob Junkie. And last but not least, new series from Meet the Real Comics, Metal Girl. Mog has a cover coming out on that as well, a variant cover. Ride Everyday Photos takes that away. Ride Everyday Photos. All right, so don't forget to fill out the form. That will be posted shortly in the comments.
Look at that scar.
That way we can get that to you. We take care of the shipping and everything, so you don't have to pay for anything.
That's like
courtesy of Mog and Mel from SketchUp. And JD says the link to the form is pinned at the top of the chat. There you go. He says, I was disappointed. The Gin Leonard you got the other week was really nice. Hey, you know what they say? Oh, yeah, you lose, you lose. Lorena writes, congrats, everybody. Great show. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Great keep. Yeah, picking up Trisha's scar for $60 feels a bit like rob. It is. You know, the prices that you guys get off here on the show, it's like dirt cheap. Because when we turn this up at the cons, we, you know, okay, like one of the pieces that was not picked up, okay, but it, you know, it had a bid on it. Was Mog was working on this Final Fantasy piece, and it had an opening bid of $150, which he got. Okay, still extremely low. Okay, so at the show at Denver this past weekend, you know what it sold for? $350, and it went really quick. So that kind of gives you an idea of how cheap you're getting this stuff from.
Yeah,
$150 to $350. That's a big difference. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so bid like crazy because you're still going to get it cheap. These deals are too good. I totally agree with you, Creative Keep. Yeah, thank you for being a good supporter as well. All right, and so you still have time to bid. Batgirl right now has a high bid from Derek and at 60.
Yay.
Scar is holding at 60 with Creative Keep. He's hoping it doesn't go any. Oh, there we go. We got a bid of 70 for Scar. 75 from Creative Keep. Just taking that back.
Yeah, I did 3, 4, and 5 for this series for covers. I did 3, 4, and 5, and I didn't get to do a number 1. So I'm like, I'm gonna buy every Scar number 1 blank I can find and do my own number 1s because
yes, do it.
There you go.
I want one.
So I bought I found a shop that had cheap blanks, and I bought a bunch. I bought a bunch of Dynamite blanks.
All right.
That's the way you do it.
Mm-hmm. I'm a hoarder when it comes to blanks.
Like when you do that, do you tell them or do they know? You'd be like, I'm the artist.
Oh yeah, well I did do that. I did say that, and the guy didn't really say anything other than, "Well, thank you for buying so many." It's like, I didn't really get a deal or anything. I was like,
"Here's another artist."
Well,
okay,
somebody
it's
else.
to get to know your local comic book shop. Because even I have our local comic book shop here, 4-Color Fantasy, that gives us a bit of a discount and throws in the bags and boards.
I mean, they do have to make a living, so I respect that.
Yeah, but at the same time, they also want to help us, our artists, right? So they are still making money off of it.
The shop that I got them from, they were on eBay, and they were out of California too. I don't remember the name of the shop, but they had just listings of the different blanks. But I just went through their shop and I was like, oh man, these are averaging cover price. They're not. They're not exorbitantly priced, and I got a bunch. I got some Thundercats. I got
Nice.
Hercules,
Yeah.
Scar, Hades,
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch, and any of the other ones I did. Darkwing Duck.
There you go. Yeah, we're constantly hunting for blanks as well. We spent, I think, about $100 picking up several before the Denver Con.
I have a short boxer. Like I have like 2 short boxes full of just random blanks that I pick up because I just pick them up wherever. And
Yeah.
they're not like current. They're not like current blanks. Just like a Batman from 5 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a, there were plenty.
Trish, may I ask a artistic question?
Sure.
The scar that you worked on, is it pretty okay absorbing the markers, or was it a bit difficult?
This?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of went over it a couple of times just to make sure that the colors evened out.
Yeah.
Just like the darkest grays. I went over it a couple of times just to make sure it was fine. But it's just like regular cardstock.
Okay.
It's
cool.
not glossy or slick.
Yeah,
So it's like regular paper. It's got like a tooth to it. So
nice.
the pencils came out really nice.
All right. Okay.
But I actually got rid of the pencils this time. I don't usually. But then I added like some white pencil to kind of bring out the whiskers a bit. And to the blue pencil for the mane. Because if you look at the animation, his mane is outlined in blue.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
If that was one thing I could ever pick up in my life, it would be like a scar, like an animation cell from The Lion King. I have an old series cell that they put in like a magazine, but it's not the same,
Okay.
All right, so everybody, if you see scar number 1s, make sure you pick it up.
Yeah.
That way Trish doesn't get it all.
Scar number 1 blanks. I got like 30 of them things around here somewhere. I bought a bunch. But yeah, Scar, he's my all-time favorite Disney baddie. And then you get into the Disney afternoon stuff. So like Dynamite, I was on the experience with Dynamite talking about their Kickstarter for Darkwing Duck that they ran.
Yeah, we had him on our podcast too. It was awesome.
Yeah. Tad Stones was talking, and I'm like, I should have been on that one because I wanted to ask if they were going to get like a Chip and Dale comic, because if they got a Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers comic, I would throw people off of a bridge to work on it.
I mean, they did the movie. I don't see why they wouldn't do a comic. Like
that airship is stuck in my brain in a way only like Star Wars and He-Man is stuck in my brain.
Yeah,
I freaking love that airship so much.
That was a cool show, man.
These are like way out of print, but I picked up the Kaboom run of the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers comic, and the artwork in it is so good. I knew people who worked on this too, which, at the time when I wasn't in comics, working in comics yet, those people were like celebrities to me. Yeah. Now I'm just like, oh hey, it's a coworker of mine now. Yay!
Yeah, I remember that. I'm still terrified though. I'm still terrified.
I still act like a fangirl like when I see certain people. And certain of those people too, like the ones who worked on this comic, like one of them works at Disney now, at like in an official capacity in like animation, and it just it makes me I just get a little heart racy when I see them like pop up online or respond to something that I've said, and I'm like, oh, really?
I know.
What do you guys think about that whole thing with the Cartoon Network, right? Like that's going away now. I heard.
Yeah, I heard about that. That their their animation studio's gone.
Yeah.
What?
Because AI is really doing a big bit of damage to the animation industry anyway.
Yeah.
On top of like not just like actors, voice actors, animators, artists in general. It's just really taking the piss out of those poor people.
Concept designers and stuff.
Yeah.
All these artists you're going to start seeing at cons now, right? Like they're going to, it's going to get harder and harder to get in. I feel like.
I think that when you see, original art, because I think original art's going to really start to take off now.
Yeah, for sure.
Because AI is such a thing. Digital art is like, digital art is great, but there's just something special about holding a one of one in your hand.
Yeah.
That's why I like old animation cells so much, because that's a one of one piece every time.
Yeah.
Because
so you think people are knowledgeable enough to know, like, hey, instead of AI, I want the real thing. I want like an OG, like by human. Do you think people are in
the people that
it
care.
Depends. That depends, because if it's something that's like wide media, like a Disney property or like a property that people love, they won't care how it's produced, as long as it's widely available to them.
Yeah.
The real people who are savvy, like comic book people, will look at a comic and they'll be like, I know there's an original piece of this somewhere. Now, I saw an AI generated comic and it pissed me off. I was so mad.
Okay, was it good though?
No, it was terrible. They just wanted to, the guy who wrote it, he wrote a story and then he didn't want to pay an artist to put it to draw it. So he AI generated the entire thing.
Yeah.
And
somebody
it was
had
like the most
and then sold thousands of copies.
Yeah.
And people liked it though?
Yeah, because most people don't know. Most people don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the average citizen doesn't know
exactly
what impact that is.
Isn't that interesting to you though too? Like, because he's a writer. That's an
they
art
were
form.
on strike at the time. Like the Writers Guild was on strike at the time for fear of AI.
Yeah.
And then he uses AI art and didn't give a flip about it and bragged about it in interviews for a while. Then he started kind of hiding it. And I was like, the audacity to be on strike and then turn around and use it because, it's not stealing my job, is just ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword too, because a lot of people don't treat art as like the luxury that it kind of is, because what we produce as original art, it really is a luxury, because I mean they can't do it, so they want it, but they don't want to pay for it.
And the thing that really upsets me is a friend of mine was a writer, wanted to make a comic book, couldn't draw, absolutely could not afford to hire an artist because he has like 3 babies at home, 2 twins. He's got his hands full. And instead of going the AI route, he just taught himself how to draw. And his first book was a little rough. It had a real... What's up, Drew?
Drew! Good to see you, my man.
Instead of, the first book has like a real old 90s zine kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
His second book is actually legit good. The artwork is really good. Anybody I know would hire him, to do a job now. And he's just getting better and better. And he just sat down and was like, screw it. I got to teach myself how to do this. And he got good quick.
That's awesome.
I think there are ethical applications for AI somewhere.
I think there could be.
There haven't been thought of yet. But
how about something to take out my garbage, or
certain studios train AI on their artists to do concept work. So it's like Disney has a whole AI trained thing for concept art, but it's all concept art that they own that it's trained on.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that could be ethical.
I could see a world where potentially maybe if I could train it only on my artwork and I could pencil and lay out a page and it finished it to look like my work and I could get my books out faster and cheaper and I could sell my books for $2, that would be awesome. But if it was ethical and everything and it's not being
scraping
peeled off of other people's stuff,
all that stuff.
That's the part that pisses me off. And the computers know where they're pulling from. You can't tell me for 1 second the computers don't know where they're pulling the art from
They just take tags.
do this.
Like everything that you tag, right, with or hashtag on anything, right? They just literally, that's how they say, oh, okay, I'm looking for these words and descriptions.
Absolutely.
And they pull from that. right?
There are medical applications for it.
I mean, spell check is AI. The phone operator at the
Yeah.
bank that
What about this
routes my
Adobe
calls
stuff
is AI.
that they've been doing? You hear about Adobe?
Adobe's about
Oh,
to get
yeah.
sued to death.
Why?
Because
Over that AI business.
Yeah, I think.
if you have a subscription, they put in a new thing where it's like anything that you make on your program, they own. It was sort
Well,
of like, or they could have the ownership.
I think they
right?
took that back. They rescinded that statement.
For now.
Yeah, because they were about to get sued
Yeah, for
to death.
now.
But see,
But then
they're just following the line
dinged
of
everybody
Meta
for leaving at $80
and
to get out.
everybody else. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a.
This has been a hot topic for a while, and we've talked in our house here. We've talked about this topic almost every night with different people, and we'll definitely be talking about this for many days to come. Unfortunately, our time is up, so I want to thank everybody for coming on today. You got a few more seconds to get your final bids in there if you want to take any of this artwork home. Next week, we have Beth Sotella, who will be joining us next week, along with Erwin Papa. Cat Mouse will be here too. Fung Fung will be back. And Trish will also be coming back next week. So
Trish,
we
you're
can
amazing. Thank
continue
you.
this discussion on AI with her too, or at least start it off. All right, guys. Thank you very much. You guys have a wonderful night. We'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Thanks again, guys. Take care. Bye.